Alright, welcome to a Quarantine Chronicles edition of Ask Isaiah. I'm with Frank Teah and Knicks Devin Thomas. Um, this is a special occasion because the Hall of Fame class of 2020 was announced. We had the likes of Duncan, Kevin Garnett, and of course the legendary Kobe Bryant, Black Mamba, who unfortunately won't be with us to give us that honorary speech that we were anticipating, but obviously they're going to honor him in the best fashion that they can. The class also includes two-time NBA champion head coach Rudy Tomjanovich and Tamika Catchings, one of the greatest women's basketball players to ever live. She's also inducted. So we're going to speak about the class and also some people that many people feel probably should have been inducted but haven't been just yet. So, and speaking with you guys, what do you think about the class and how do you feel about this class in general?
It's the GOAT class, bro.
Yeah, definitely.
I can't name a class better.
Yeah, definitely. It's top heavy, right? If we talking the last 20 years, these are three of the top 7 players. The last 20 years, I would say, if I'm thinking about it correctly. Yeah. Maybe through the top 7. Definitely through the top 10. But yeah, this is the top of the top. You got 2 guys who are in the top 8. 9 of all time in this class. KG is another top 20 to 25 player. So yeah, so this is it. This is a really good one.
I would say, I agree with you 100%. In the last decade or so, we've had some top heavy classes. You can look to the Jordan class that had Jordan, David Robertson, and John Stockton. Then you could look to the 2016 class, which was Shaq, AI, Yao. You got this class, even though nobody in this class is better than Michael Jordan, everybody else is better than everybody else. Kobe, Duncan, KG are better than David Robinson and John Stockton. Shaq is probably not arguably better than anybody in this class except for KG.
Yep.
And
definitely.
So in this class, you have 3 MVPs. You got two players that have won 5 championships. You have KG who also won a championship. But this class is definitely great. You got Rudy Tomjanovich who led the Rockets to 2 championships during the 2 years that Michael Jordan was either in baseball or just coming back from baseball. This class is definitely exceptional.
I see what you did there, though.
I was going to say the same thing because Hakeem don't like that. Hakeem no, Mike played.
Bro. Michael Jordan got nothing to do with it. What does Michael Jordan have to do with that?
People say, like Mike played 95, he ain't win.
Yeah, like what are you talking about?
Listen, 95. I respect the Rockets for being a 6 seed and actually winning the championship. To have to play all of their series without home court advantage, a great run. But Michael Jordan only played 17 games. He was still in baseball.
What did he have to do with it though?
I'm just saying that Rudy. I'm giving Rudy credit for being the one team to get championships during the Michael Jordan reign. I respect that.
Right. But just hypothetical, if MJ makes the finals, do you think he beats the Rockets in 95?
No.
Not the 95 team.
Okay. So then what Kenny and Hakeem say that they got to point to it?
What I will say is this. During the run of from 1991 to 1993, they played 6 times and Houston beat them 5 times. So
okay, so you kept it 100.
Right. Depending on the matchups matter. And in my opinion, the 92 team is the best Bulls team. I don't think that the 96 team it comes even close to 92. So I think if any team is going to beat that Houston team, it'll probably be the 92 Bulls.
So and all right, so cool. And I also think the Rockets beat the '91 Bulls as well. Like I think they beat them pretty handily too. I think the latter Bulls teams. I think Houston beats 3 out of 6 Bulls teams probably. I think they beat 91. They beat the last one. They beat the 98 team, and then I'm up in the air with 97.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. My only issue with the latter Bulls teams is
yo, how we get to the Bulls, bro?
Wait. I'm gonna bring it back. My only issue with the Bulls teams of the latter 90s is, as great as Rodman is defensively and just getting in people's heads and rebounding and stuff like that, he's so bad offensively.
Yeah.
You can exploit that compared to when the earlier Bulls teams had Horace. He's not Dennis defensively, but he's not a slouch, and you can do things offensively with him. And they have better shooting. You had Craig Hodges, you had John Paxson, you had BJ. Those are specialist shooters. The latter Bulls teams, they didn't really have shooters.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. So if you're talking about this class, we speak about this a lot.
Yep.
Who's the best player in the class?
Tim Duncan, obviously. It's not even close.
Yeah, right. But you know what? I agree with you, right? But the issue with the fun thing is, as easily as people say it's not close, he's the folk that people will argue the most isn't better than Kobe, which is interesting, right? So yeah, I think Tim Duncan is the top 5 to 7 player. I don't think he could be anywhere lower than that, right? Some could argue the 4. I wouldn't say that, but 5 to 7, he's there, right?
No, we got somebody who will argue that. The host.
So listen.
Tell him what you said yesterday.
So this is my tweet, right? I said nobody wants to hear it, but you can make the argument that Tim Duncan is better than LeBron.
You can't
a stupid argument. Ain't no argument.
You can't make that argument.
This is what I'm saying. The peak of LeBron is not close. The peak of LeBron is
not close either.
But wait. So you telling me the greatest franchise player ever to not only he's the best player on teams that have won 4 or 5 championships, right?
Okay.
And accolade for accolade, he's with LeBron.
He's not. He has 2 less MVPs than him, right?
With the same amount of finals. MVP.
Okay. All right. Now this: if LeBron played how Tim played on some of those final teams, the LeBron team don't get close to winning championships.
He only played in the fashion that you're speaking about. He only played like that one time.
No. Okay, yeah, for sure. He let them, right? But I just mean LeBron had to be the best player in the NBA on of the non-finals on like 7 of them to even have a chance at winning, right? Tim could not. Tim didn't have to, right? So Tim could still be really good in his own right, but LeBron had to be the absolute best of some championships.
But Tim was the best player on 4 or 5 championships.
For the team, yeah, but LeBron was the best player in the league for almost all of those, right? And those teams get killed if LeBron is in that. If LeBron is as productive as Tim was on 4 of those 5 championships, those Cavaliers and Heat teams get killed in the finals. Like they may not make it to the finals. So
what my argument is, for everything you just said about Tim being a 5 to 7 player, right?
Yeah.
While the peak, there's probably 3 players in the history of the league that can match LeBron's peak. If you're talking about what he did for he played 18, 19 years. He's an all NBA caliber player for 15 of the 18. So that's in the same vein longevity wise as LeBron.
You know, I never want to say anything about Tim. However, some of those latter first teams he won was because the big man was decreased, right? And I mean, a lot of it was namesake.
Right.
Like Tim has first teams late that he probably shouldn't be on.
Okay.
Bro, LeBron been the best player in the league for a decade. Tim can't say that.
He was
more than a decade.
He's in the conversation for about 8 though.
Who?
Tim Duncan.
Nah, hell no.
From 99 to 07, from 99 to 07, he not a top 5 player.
Okay, top 5. I'm talking about the best. LeBron was the best, and the league where there's more superstars than there was back then.
Good argument. Tim is the best. Tim may be the best for. He may have 3 seasons as the best. He may have another three as a top 3. But yeah, it's really close, right? Like I think you can argue people with Tim at LeBron's reign. You really can't argue. You can't argue LeBron not been the best until 2016, right? And then even then, you think about okay, cool. Steph is the best, but he's not really the best after that. So, yeah, I don't know. Nah, like Tim is high. Tim is really high. Some people really never got Tim top 10. Some folks have Tim after Kobe. Tim is
no. All I said. This is what I said. I said Tim is a. I said yesterday Tim is seventh, right? No. Where I have LeBron right now, I got LeBron 5th.
Wait, you keep dropping them. Wait.
Why you keep dropping them, bro?
What's going on? How do you keep dropping? Yo, so wait. A few years ago he was 3. Now he's 5th. Like how he 5th after this year? How you keep dropping? So wait. Hold on. Don't tell me you got Larry and Magic over it.
I got yes.
Larry and Magic.
No. I got listen. I got Mike, Kareem,
yes,
Magic,
okay,
LeBron. So 4.
That's 4. You tripping, bro.
Okay. All right. So yeah, you know, me and you go forever. All right, so wait, I'm gonna say this. One time you was bringing up LeBron or like 9th grade finals. How different is Magic when Detroit swept Magic? Or Magic ain't play good, and also when the Bulls beat Magic ain't play that good after game 2. So how different is that from LeBron low peaks? You hold 2018 against LeBron, right? LeBron got a 50 in that series.
But how did he play at the end in overtime and the rest of the game?
That's a stupid argument. And are you talking about?
How did Magic play against Detroit? How did Magic play? So here the thing is, you're gonna say that you don't expect Magic to score like that, right?
Exactly.
Which showed you that him and LeBron not on the same level, because you hold him to a lesser degree.
No, okay, I do, but when I see LeBron play to a lesser degree than what he's supposed to be playing, that's a fatal flaw. At least Magic is doing what he does.
The man
what are you talking about, man?
Yo, he had 49 through 4 quarters against a top seed team.
He did, and what did he do in overtime?
Oh, he didn't play well.
What did he do in overtime? He still had 50. What are you talking about?
He got 50 anyway. When he scored those last 2, when he scored those free throws at the end of the game, the game was clearly out of
such a higher standard to
I do.
It's crazy.
I'm saying LeBron has shown us that he can play at that level. It's not like he has shown us that, bro. You know what I'm saying? My argument with LeBron is this. We argue about 2016 all the time, right? 2016, the last 3 games, he played at the apex. What were you doing the other 4 games? Well, not 4, 3.
What are you talking about?
I hear you, right? But I'm like, what does it matter? They won.
They won the games, but it doesn't go 7 if he's playing at the level that he already showed in the final 3.
I don't know if we can argue that fully. I mean, yeah, they have a way better shot than being down 3-1, definitely, right? But that's
what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. They're not down 3-1 if he's playing, if he's really taking it there.
Yo, are you serious? Are y'all serious right now? What are you talking about? You sound like Skip Bayless, man. You gotta get that Jordan stuff out your head, bro.
No, I'm saying.
Nah, this is about Jordan. Don't even try.
What I always say about LeBron, I said LeBron
is about Jordan,
is the closest thing to Michael Jordan that we've ever seen.
This is about Jordan, man.
He had and more than anybody, he's had multiple chances to really overtake Michael Jordan.
You feeling threatened right now, B?
What?
You feeling threatened?
The best.
In '96, did Jordan play well? No, but they won the chip, right? Does anybody talk about how Jordan
didn't play good in 2 games? He didn't play good in 2 games.
Okay.
His numbers don't look good that series.
The first 3 games. The first 3 games when they went up 3-0.
What about the other ones? Like your logic. What about the other games? Oh, it don't matter. It don't matter.
I mean, look, they still won. They still won.
Come on, bro. You gotta stop this, man.
I'm saying LeBron James from 2012 to 2014 is the closest thing to Michael Jordan we've ever seen.
No, okay.
I'm giving him that.
What were you talking about again? Rudy Tomjanovich or whatever?
Oh yeah, no, we was talking about the class. And
the class is elite. It's a real class. I mean, unfortunately, Kobe won't. That's a real tough situation. Because that would have been cool, but really cool. Because you'd have saw. I think you'd also saw two guys who stopped each other from being higher, right? Like if Kobe and Shaq don't run through it, then we having a Duncan Kareem discussion as opposed to Duncan, I mean, whoever discussion, right? So we're looking at Duncan with 6-7 championships probably. And also if Duncan doesn't sweep the Lakers in 99, right? They swept in 99, right? Then Kobe and Shaq get a chip earlier, maybe they don't break up, and maybe they have 8 championships, right? And also if he doesn't stop them in 03, they don't lose to New Jersey in the finals also. So we're looking at two guys who stopped each other from having 7-8 championships, which would have been like a wow, which something we didn't see since Bill Russell. So I think that's a cool thing also, right? Two guys who really battled and kind of altered where folks where each other ended, right? But then you argue if Kobe and Shaq win more, then maybe they don't break up, and maybe Kobe doesn't get the second half of his career where he really takes off as the heir apparent to Mike, right? So I guess you see it both ways, but still, you have 4 guys who would have really been above Jordan in championships, most likely or very likely if the other wasn't there, and that would have been it, and that would have been cool to see also. So
and also, in terms of just intertwining, you look at what Kevin Garnett was for the future generation in terms of prep to pro. He was the first one to really, since Moses, to really take it there. And then the connection between him and Tim Duncan, for some reason over the last couple of days, people have been arguing Kevin Garnett and Tim Duncan. I'm like, it's not close.
Who said that? Who said that?
Twitter's really like going too far with this.
I've seen the argument before, like folks would like rank them KG, Tim, Dirk. I'm like, KG's the last one. I mean, like he's really good. He's really, really good. But this is American sports where scoring is the thing we care about the most in anything. I mean, we care about scoring. I mean, that's one of the reasons I believe soccer may not take off, right? Is because a game can end in the tie, and we don't want to see that. So home run hitters sometimes in baseball are automatically ranked the best players where they probably aren't, because we love scoring, right? Like, so if you're talking about scoring, when they get real, Tim could get you 30, 35. KG wasn't necessarily doing that. He could, but Tim could really put it on, right? So as well as being better at other things, right? So they intertwine, but to me, it's like a gap of like 15 between them, right? So
see, but this is to your point about Tim getting 30. I think that's what people miss about Tim, and that maybe they don't pay attention to. If you look at the regular season numbers of Tim Duncan and Kevin, they're very similar.
Very similar.
22 to 25. You're gonna see 12 to 13 rebounds. You're gonna see close to 4 or 5 assists from Kevin. Kevin definitely got more assists. Yeah. But in terms of like their raw numbers, it looks very similar. But when you look at Duncan's playoff numbers, his numbers mirror Shaq.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like in terms of certain series he might have, and even at the highest level of performance, you'll see Duncan go for close to 40 with close to 20 rebounds, 7 blocks, 6 assists, like everything that you would assume that Kevin could be able to do, he just wasn't quite able to do it in the playoffs.
Yeah. Yo. Add now real quick. He said he ready.
I added him.
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah. So another one of our friends now has joined.
What up,
now we're speaking about the Hall of Fame class of 2020.
All right.
So in terms of like where everyone ranks, we prior to you joining, we spoke about Kevin and Kobe's, not necessarily Kobe's space, but how people underrate Duncan's impact. and where he stands in the league historically.
You really think he underrated though?
I mean, no. To be quite honest with you, he's not underrated. People who know the game put Duncan in that 5 to 7 range. But I think from a totality standpoint, in terms of popularity, he doesn't get the credit that he necessarily deserves.
What's 5 to 7 range?
Duncan, Tim Duncan, all time.
5 to 7 greatest of all time?
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. I mean, they probably, if people are underrating him, it's probably because he wasn't the flashiest player.
Yeah.
He didn't have the highlights, anything like that. But when I joined, you guys did mention that, he has all the accolades. He has a lot of the awards and stuff like that. I mean, he's a fundamental player, and I think the Spurs had the record for, 12 straight playoff appearances or something like that.
Way more than 12.
Like 20 something.
They're at as we stand right now, because the season is suspended, they're at 21.
21.
No, 22 actually. Going back to 97. So this
as of right now, how much was Duncan there for then?
He's there for 19.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's there for 19 of them. So for him to, I mean, he's kind of like the anti-Vince Carter. I mean, they say Vince Carter played in 4 decades worth of basketball. Duncan won championships in 3 different decades, if you want to do that. But one thing I will say about Kevin, that he didn't necessarily, not that he didn't get the credit for, but being a part of that Celtics team, I think that particular Celtics team that won the championship in 2008, in the fashion that they did, they were very influential, and he's a part of that. So he's held in like a higher esteem more lately than he was prior to winning that championship. Like Kendrick Perkins went on the soliloquy the other day about how he doesn't necessarily get as much love as Tim Duncan, and I'm like, when did
he don't deserve it?
No, that's good.
Right. So
deserve it.
No, that's good.
Now before you got on, but even before we started recording, we were speaking about players that didn't necessarily make the Hall of Fame, but maybe deserving. And I'm of the opinion that Chris Webber's not a Hall of Famer.
Bro, it's the Basketball Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
you keep getting that confused,
everyone gets in, bro.
Everyone gets in.
College players get in, bro. You know what I mean?
Listen, was he a great NBA player?
Yeah.
Compared to people who got in, yeah.
He wasn't a great. He was a very good NBA player. He wasn't great.
What about college? One of the most influential teams ever.
No, he was a great college player. He was a great college player who underachieved in the NBA.
Absolutely.
Okay, you can say that about a lot. Mitch Richmond got in, bro. What did he do?
Okay, but just because you have Mitch Richmond, is Chris Webber way better than Mitch Richmond?
Yeah.
He's better, but I would say he's better. Yeah.
He was the best player on the team that should have won the chip, but they got cheated, arguably. So what did Mitch Richmond do? What's his moment?
If C-Web has 1 chip, to you, is he Hall of Famer if he get 1 chip?
Yeah.
Okay.
But he don't even need a chip to be. He don't even need a chip to be a Hall of Famer to me. Okay. I'm saying he should have played much better than he did in the high leverage moment.
I think most people will agree with that, right? But I don't think that takes away from what he was.
I'm not saying he's still a Hall of Famer.
Basketball Hall of Fame, not NBA Hall of Fame.
Okay, now watch this. When you think about the greatness of Chris Webber, when does he become great? Like 99, 2000, right? With the Kings, right? Now he came. Now think about this. He came in the league in 1993 with Penny Hardaway, with Grant. He's before Grant Hill and Jason Kidd. So what are you doing for 6 years?
What are you talking about?
What was he doing?
He still made the All-NBA team 5 times. Top 10 MVP voting like 5 times. Like, come on, bro. He was that dude, man.
He got a pretty good career.
He was that dude.
Now it's pretty good Hall of Fame worthy. No.
Yo, Jamal Wilkes got in.
Yeah, for basketball.
Jamal Wilkes got in. He's a 3-time.
Okay, now when did Jamal Wilkes get in? It took him like
He's still in though.
I'm saying, okay, if Chris gets in, he'll have to wait.
No, first you say he don't deserve to be in though. That's what you said.
In my opinion, he's not a Hall of Famer. But I think he can't. I mean, based on like Jamal Wilkes and guys like that, yeah, he could wait. He could go, another 5-10 years. That's cool.
Come on, man. Why? If he's a Hall of Famer, he is a Hall of Famer. Why does he have to wait?
I mean, look at the class. Look at this class. Is he gonna get in with this class?
The two power forwards make him look like damn. You know what I mean?
Does it matter which class he gets in though? It doesn't matter.
Nah, first ballot is prestigious. You know what I'm saying? Well, it's not his first ballot, so I mean, let me say that. So
why didn't he get in last year? The class wasn't that good last year.
Who was last year?
You would hold that against him? That he didn't get in first ballot?
No, he's definitely not a first ballot Hall of Famer. That's not even a question. He's like,
who was in last year? Sidney Moncrief, Vlade Divac.
Sidney Moncrief was nice. Sidney Moncrief was nice.
Yo, Vlade Divac over Chris Webber. Come on.
Vlade Divac was an international.
So if Chris Webber was born in like Canada or something,
he would have got in.
He would have got in.
No, bro, he would. Bro, Vlade Divac was an international joint. That's why he got in. Not
right, hold on. Let me look this up. Last year. All right, you ready? Bill Fitch, he'd get in. Bobby Jones, Sixers, he get in. Sidney Moncrief get in.
Right.
Paul Westphal, bro, come on.
Yeah, I don't know why Paul got in, but Paul was like a 4-time All-Star.
Yeah.
I'm saying.
How many times did Chris Webber make it?
5 times.
All right, then. So what are you talking about?
He should have been like with Chris Webber's talent. With Chris Webber's talent, he should have been better than Dirk Nowitzki.
5 kind of slim, to be honest.
5 is bad. For Chris Webber's talent, he should have been at least 10, 11.
You know how hard it is to get in an All-Star game as a power forward at that time? That was the GOAT era power forward.
No, he started making All-Star games back then. He wasn't making the All-Star games in the 90s. He should have been making it in the 90s.
It was hard back then, too.
Come on, bro. Nah.
The Bullets were in the East, right?
Yes. Come on.
Yeah.
Come on, bro.
Come on, man.
What? He had a great rookie year. That team had Spreewell. That team had Timmy before they went Tim Hardaway before he went to the Heat. He came on the scene killing. Then he goes to Washington, and I don't know what he did for 4 years. Like for 4 years, I don't know what he was doing. And then he goes to the middle of nowhere in Sacramento. He rebuilt the Sacramento Kings. You got to give him credit for that. He went on a run for 5 years that was lit. From 99 to essentially 04, even though 04 he had the knee injury. So
and he was hurt in 96, wasn't he? He was one of those early years he was hurt. You gonna hold that against him because he got hurt?
I mean, I'm sure Chris Webber was putting up at least 20 and 9, if not 20 and 10, during from at least his sophomore year on.
But he's not. But my argument is he's even more talented than what he showed. Just Chris Webber
is holding him to a higher standard, bro. That's not fair, bro.
What do you mean it's not fair? He should have lived up to what he is.
He's a Hall of Famer. 5-time All-NBA. 5-time All-Star. Should have been NBA champion. Like, what else do you want? Like, no one said he's the GOAT or he one of the best 10-pound forwards. We're just saying he's a Hall of Famer. In a Hall of Fame where everybody gets in. Everybody.
All right, so he got to wait like Jamal Wilkes. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Vlade Divac just got in.
When was he first eligible? What year was he first eligible?
2012?
Something like that.
Yeah, 2012. Yeah, he been on the ballot for a while, man. They showing him love though. He got to earn it.
Wow. I said they showing him love by our 8 times.
Wow.
Last time. Like,
look,
Chris, I didn't get it again.
So they showing T.O. love too then, huh?
Well, when we look at wide receivers historically have had to wait.
But not the GOAT.
He got in. He got in the
Randy
class.
Moss didn't have to wait.
He didn't have to wait. Randy Moss is better though. But I'm saying outside of it's only been 5 receivers in the history of the NFL that have ever been first ballot. And 2 of those guys played in the 60s and 70s. So yeah. In regards to another Bill Simmons brought up something and I wanted to get your opinion on this. He said that Michael Jordan's team released the 30 for 30 tapes because he thinks that he feels threatened by LeBron.
Oh, it's not just him; it's you too.
All right, so
it's you too.
Here's the thing, right? So here's the thing. The past, initially we loved Bill. The past few years, he's been kind of, I don't know. So I will say this, yes. Whether it's justified or not, I do feel like Mike feels away by LeBron. I think no one can argue he doesn't, right? That's clear, right? Yeah. Mike can go, but Mike feels away by LeBron. That's sure, right? I do thinking that he released this, that's a little far-fetched, right? But it is possible that he may not have had the urge to release this in the last 10 years like he does in the last 5 or so. So I don't think he's full on right, but I do think there's something to Mike feeling away about LeBron for sure, right? But he was like, after LeBron went in 2016, I'm like, I'm not sure how much Mike cares about 3-6. I do think that Mike probably feels the way that LeBron had a 3-1 comeback and like, oh wow, that looks real, right? And the argument starts to resurface again after 2017. So Mike feels away, but no, I don't think the singular reason for Mike releasing it was because a threat by LeBron.
So this is my argument with that, right? Which I do agree that no player has come as close to Michael Jordan as LeBron, so he's definitely threatened by that more so than any other player.
Yeah.
But when you look at, like, they just did a recent NBA poll, right, with who they believe is the greatest player of all time, and Michael Jordan still had 3/4 of the vote, 74%.
As he should.
No, so and for me, I'm like, how much is that gravitational pull leading to LeBron? Like, I know there's people that believe LeBron is the GOAT, but I don't think it's a lot. I don't think it's a power percentage.
I do think that as the year goes on and folks will never have seen Mike playing, I do think we'll see a shift, right? So the 3/4 will look like 40% in 10 years, right? Like especially as LeBron gets more mystified when he leaves out. So,
what are they looking at though? Because I mean, at this point, LeBron's probably not going to make any more first team all defensive teams.
That don't matter. Yeah, like Mike should have made those teams late either. You know what I mean? So it's that doesn't really matter.
I mean, LeBron, he don't really got to make any more because he already got 6.
Yeah.
But I do think to Frank's point about how close LeBron was, LeBron is the closest player to a defensive, from a perimeter standpoint, that could have won Defensive Player of the Year. He probably should have
had 2. Yeah. So that just really looks weird that he don't got 1, but he should have had 2. Right?
Yeah. 2. He only needs 1, bro.
The people
I thought he only deserved 1. Maybe.
Nah, 2012 and 2013.
Nah, just the one where Marcus. What's the one where Gasol won?
You see,
all right, that's 2013.
I think he should have got Tyson Chandler's, bro.
Like Tyson Chandler.
Nah, I don't think so.
Is this a Nick bias thing going on?
No, I don't care about no Tyson Chandler. I'm just saying.
I don't think his impact on the Knicks was that really profound.
Tyson ain't make the first team that year. You know what I mean? So that's just
so what?
Yeah, that's a little. I think LeBron, even if he didn't get 2, he should definitely have 1. But I think he's deserving of 2.
He may have gotten 2.
So what's your thoughts on the LeBron MVP for this year?
It's a dub. I mean, it was always a long shot to me, right? I do think he made it interesting the last 2 or 3 weeks prior to the shutdown. He made it interesting, but I thought Giannis. It did, however, look like the Bucks may have slipped, right? Like the Bucks was looking like Giannis went out. I mean,
because they were on pace for 70, but now they're gonna get to like 67.
67, right? So I do.
So Giannis did get hurt, so keep that in mind.
Yeah, but then again, you don't hold that against the guy who's coming for the throne, right, for the spot. So maybe if LA finish a game or so into Milwaukee and LeBron went on a run, right, and then you factor in his age and how bad they play without him, I think we have at the very least an interesting, MVP voting. I don't know if LeBron wins it, but I think it gets, I think it gets closer than it would have been, say, 10, 15 games ago. So I mean, it's over now, of course, but I think LeBron was about to make it a little spicy towards the end.
Yeah, I got Giannis, bro.
Yeah, I think
Giannis.
Yeah.
The thing about the Bucks though, that I mean, they kind of like what they did last year. They're probably gonna do again this year.
Yeah.
They're gonna win a lot of regular season games, but I feel like a lot of Giannis' flaws are still there. So we're not gonna really get to really see him at his apex come playoff time, because a lot of the threes that they make, and that's what the Lakers showed in that latter game. Like a lot of the attack buckets that Giannis gets downhill, when he goes against certain competition, it doesn't look the same. So while they're gonna win a lot of games, he's a lot of the flaws that he had last year. If they resurface again, people are gonna question, even though, I mean, he's only 25, so his window is he can still develop into like something crazy.
And I think the top East teams are better this year than they were last year.
Right. So you got Boston is definitely better. Toronto's still deep, even though they don't have Kawhi. They're still very deep.
Philly's still a sleeper, right?
No. We're really bad. But talent-wise, we could play with him.
For sure. Right? I mean, he going downhill, you throw Ben on him, right? And I'd be like, at the very least, a young Ben could do what an old LeBron could do on defense. And if older LeBron slows down, I don't see why Ben or another big body can't either. So, yeah.
So, in terms of one of the things that I think gives Giannis a slight edge over LeBron. Well, not slight. I think it's profound. But at this stage in his career, it's more so the defensive end. And defensively, where Giannis impact the Bucks, they're like top 3 defensively, number 1 in defensive rating. I feel like he probably should have won Defensive Player of the Year last year. This year, it's between him and Davis. Anthony Davis has made a big impact on the Lakers as well. So being that he not only the offensive engine that LeBron is for his team, but he's also the defensive, the anchor inside that AD is for the Lakers. That's the difference here as well.
Yeah, for sure. He has it. I think the poll was telling of that, right? If it ended today, who gets it? He won. But that poll was taken with 15 games left in the season, right? So
right.
Take that how you want.
So do you think that? I mean, obviously, with coronavirus affecting the entire world, there's been talks that the league probably wanted to move the teams to an isolated city and potentially salvage some regular season games before going into the playoffs. Do you think that could be plausible, or it's looking like it's over?
Yeah, I don't know what city's isolated right now, right? It's just like and then you got people traveling together, breaking like the grouping rule. It may be over.
I heard that they were trying to go to the Bahamas, but I don't know how much substance.
Who said that?
I heard somewhere that they were considering going down to the Bahamas to finish off some of the regular.
The season ain't coming back, bro.
It ain't coming back, yeah. And I mean,
we're gonna have to just get ready for football.
Folks in the Bahamas, okay, with 400 people going down there from the U.S. Who are what's the screening process for that? And I mean, then people gonna get mad again because let's say you got to test everybody over again. How you pay to get tested? And I mean, it's way too much backlash potentially.
So what? Okay, so say we lose it. Say we lose the season for right now. Are y'all comfortable with it resuming going into next year and just delaying the start of next season?
Nah, that's just going to
yeah.
That's confusing.
It look a little, it's looking shakes, man. It's looking real shakes.
Because my theory is this, right? So, even if we go back to '99 where we had the lockout, that was 50 games. You had that season started in February. You had the lockout of 2011, 2012. That season started in December. So okay, we lose the spring and the summer, but we finish it in the fall, right? Even if you delay the start of next season, similar to '99, but you still have a champion for 2020, I think that would be okay. As long as because to me the issue here is not the suspension of the games, is more so how far we got into this season. Comparable to those 2 years of '99 and 2012, it delayed the start of the season.
Yeah.
So you still started at game 1 of
Well,
those seasons.
how
This
far
year
would you
is
delay?
already in game 67.
How far are you going to delay then the 2021 season?
I'm saying if we go into the fall, like say it start, because Trump just had a conference call with all of the leagues. I mean, I don't know how far we could take his word for it, but let's say the timetable stands for now in theory, and we don't start getting sports back until the summertime, right? If leagues start going into the fall, right? You have October, November, and you probably finish the season in November, December, right?
You including playoffs?
Yeah, like the champion is crowned at the end of 2020. You still
Okay.
have a champion for 2020. That's what I'm saying. And then you get the 2 months off like we usually get for January, and then you late December, January, and then you start in February. And you just have a shortened season for 2020, 2021 that'll go into June, and then it'll just reset.
That sounds complicated, bro. I would just cancel it.
You gotta
It's
have
fine. It's fine.
You gotta have a champion.
You are a Jordan fan anyway. You should want them to cancel the season anyway.
For what?
Because if LeBron get a tip, then the GOAT talk's really gonna start. He's really gonna get upset.
But it's I think, I mean, for me personally, in 2016, that was the closest thing LeBron was ever going to get to it, and he was really close then, like to do what he did at that time, win 3 chips in 5 years, 2 different teams, to come back from 3-1. That the individual, that single feat in itself is probably the greatest feat ever achieved at the NBA level. Like to come back from 3-1 in the fashion he did against the 17-9 team, that in itself is probably the great single greater accomplishment than anything Michael Jordan has ever done. I'm gonna give him that.
Despite the suspension?
Outside of that, I mean, it was over after that. He lost 2 more finals in the fashion he did.
So what? He still got there. What are you talking about?
He lost, but it's the way he lost.
Bro, Jordan lost in the first round.
Bro,
I don't want to keep talking about Michael Jordan, but he lost in the first round, bro.
That was before
he got to the playoffs. They won like 30 games.
That is true.
He was injured that year. He was injured.
So what?
What did he do in the playoffs?
LeBron never lost in the first round.
What did LeBron do in the playoffs in 2018?
It was fire up until the finals.
Oh my God, Jordan didn't get that far.
Look,
he played 3 games.
At 34, what was Michael Jordan doing at 34?
Now you comparing ages.
I'm saying, what was he doing at 34?
He was dropping 40 at 40, though.
LeBron is an older 34 than Mike was, though.
Come on, bro. How you gonna say that?
He's a way older 34 than Mike is. Way more miles.
That's subjective. You know why? That's subjective. You know why?
Don't do college.
Because Mike, as much as LeBron is going to, well, all right, look, he did lose 2 years due to baseball. Okay.
And LeBron has had 95 game seasons since forever. All right, so it's like deep playoff runs since forever.
Okay.
LeBron always had a 95 game season, at least 95. Sometimes he's looking at 110.
I mean, okay, so how many of those does he have?
A lot.
No,
Yeah.
I'm saying in the recent championship window, what he got what 8, 9,
That's a lot.
Yeah, right.
and Mike got 6. So it's not like Mike don't
Yo,
got.
Without the 2-year break though. Like this is every night. I mean, this is every year extended seasons, right? Also, LeBron teams always demand more from him than Mike teams, especially late.
Especially late. Okay. Definitely. The last 3 chips, he wasn't as much of a playmaker. But the first 3, he was dominant.
He was. He still wasn't what LeBron was like. I mean, but
I mean, he was doing 6 a year. LeBron be doing 7. But it's not the same. It's not the same though.
Oh my God, man!
How did the one assist thing? See what you did?
It's not the same. It's not the same though. LeBron is the point guard.
Is the point guard. Okay,
I'm
cool.
saying.
Right, so we can because that at the case KG got getting 6'2" some years, okay. And he definitely ain't doing what LeBron does.
He's not doing LeBron.
That's fair.
But I'm gonna say this though, when the 30 for 30 drop though, it's definitely gonna reshake things up. Like people gonna reassess a lot of what they were saying.
People going overhyped. I'm thinking people on Facebook and Twitter, they're gonna be wrong. Cause remember, they were saying Dr. J was better than Mike.
Am I the only one who thinks that thing's gonna be trash?
Yes.
Well, not trash, but it's only for that one season though, right?
Yeah, that's not a career. It's not a career. I think it's last.
At the core of it, it's gonna be the '98 season, but they're gonna build around it.
I'm about to say, if it's just for that season, it's gonna be too long.
Nah, it's not just for that season. It's the foundation of the documentary is the '98 season, but it's more so the culmination of everything that Mike and those teams did. So they're gonna build up, but it's centered around '98.
Okay, I can see that a little bit. Yeah. I can see that.
Yeah. I mean, they're gonna have Obama in it, so it's gonna be lit.
What is that? I don't care though.
I'm telling everybody, we're gonna get ready. We're gonna get ready. It's gonna be something real special.
Why they push it to the 19th and not just tomorrow or something? I don't get it. What's the difference? That's still so far away.
They gotta build it up. You know what I'm saying? They gotta build it up. But I think when they drop it, this is gonna be necessary for us to keep. They're gonna want to keep people in the crib. Speaking about people violating the quarantine, like going outside, there's been a lot of
Well, that's why they bumped it up. It was originally scheduled for June. I think they bumped it up 2 months to April.
Yeah. So that definitely important for that, man. I want to thank you guys more so than anything for chopping it up and really coming together during this difficult time. We still got to find ways to be creative, centered around the game during these times. So when new things drop, we could get back together and really break it down some more. Once again, much congratulations to everyone that got into the 2020 Hall of Fame NBA class, Naismith Memorial Hall of Fame class. Any parting words from you guys in terms of where people can find you on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, stuff like that?
I'm Enoch is Enoch, ENOCHIS ENOCH on Instagram. I also I'm always talking about something big politics, so you find me there. Sometimes I be ranting, but find me there. I'm always up for a good debate. Yeah.
What about you, Dev? Where can they find you at?
Holler me on Twitter, man. Your boy Knicks. I'm always on there talking with you when you saying some dumb stuff about Michael Jordan. We gonna figure out. I just want to know why everybody loves Jordan so much, man. I don't get it.
What do you mean you don't get it? He's the greatest. Michael Jordan is the greatest.
No, okay, but like,
what don't you get, Devin?
Wait. Now, before you go, I want to say this though. I will say this: Michael Jordan is the greatest NBA player. He's not the greatest college player. They did.
Yeah, like stuff like that. That's what I'm talking about.
They wild out with that.
That's like that. That's what I'm talking about.
Who's saying he's the greatest college player?
He
won the poll.
They released the poll. And they had Michael Jordan the greatest college player of all
He's
time.
not even the best UNC player.
Wait, you mean that ESPN bracket?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
He's not even the best UNC player.
He's in the top 10 though. That's respect.
That's not saying much, bro. That's not saying anything. What are you talking about? Top 10.
But I'm saying he's not the greatest. I will say that. Like that.
He
Like,
got top 10 college.
He may not be 10. He may not be 10.
Nah,
He got
he's not.
top 10 college. You tripping? What?
I mean, Mike could be in there.
He may not be 10.
No.
He got a national chip. He got two national. He got a national chip. He got 2 player of the year.
Bro, Jay Williams is a better college player than him.
Who?
Jay Williams is better than him in college.
You're crazy.
Jay Williams got the chip. He got back-to-back national player of the year. What are you talking about?
Mike got 2 national player of the years too.
No.
And he got a chip.
Wait, is Mike a better top player than Christian Laettner?
Hell no.
Christian Laettner?
Yeah.
No.
Hell no. Look,
no.
see,
Not at all.
my man here is part of the reason why Jordan is the way he is, man. Because you too blind.
Listen.
I'm never like you. I don't have no
Christian
blind
was
loyalty
nice.
to nobody.
Christian was nice. Christian was nice.
You too close.
But I'm saying
Yeah.
Mike's sophomore year and junior year is fire.
Bro, we don't care, bro. Christian Laettner is better than him.
How many
Tyler Hansborough is a better college player than Mike. Tyler Hansborough is better than him.
Bro, you going crazy. You going crazy.
Bro, Tyler Hansborough got
You know
3.
what I'm
He got 2 Final Fours. He got all-time ACC leading scorer, and he got the chip.
Nobody. I don't care how good Tyler Hansborough was. Nobody is saying that Tyler Hansborough is better than Michael Jordan.
Yes, they are. I got UNC fans who say that. What are you talking about?
Never.
What are you talking about?
Maybe not Tyler Hansborough, but I
Tyler
definitely put
Hansborough is
JJ
better.
Redick ahead of Michael Jordan.
JJ Redick? Michael's
better
better.
than
Come
him.
on, bro.
Nah,
Come
Redick.
on, bro.
Hansborough higher than Redick.
Yeah, because he got the chip.
Hansborough higher than Redick.
Bro, look at Tyler Hansborough's stats, bro. He's
Bro, they
killing.
both got
Michael
one
Jordan,
chip, bro.
What are you talking about? Tyler Hansborough got a chip.
I said they both got one chip. So what's
It's not just about the chips, though. It don't matter. Like, Tyler Hansborough got the National Player of the Year, and he the all-time leading scorer in the conference.
he played 4 years?
So what?
But that's all inclusive of the best college player.
So what? It don't matter. Like, Michael Jordan not no top 10. You bugging. Don't sit down with that nonsense.
Mike
Top 10.
Kareem is a GOAT. Kareem.
Bill Walton.
Bill.
Like,
I mean,
you
got a bunch of
on,
college. You got a bunch of college players that's better than Michael Jordan.
Bro.
But my thing is.
But how you say he top 10? Then that don't make no sense.
He's 10.
Yo, you just said a bunch of players are better than him.
Like 2 handfuls. Like you got nine players.
No.
We talking about men and women or just men?
Nah. Well, I was talking about men. But
Nah. He's not top 10. Sorry. That's what I'm saying. I just want to know why he's so blind. He got blind fans like yourself. Why he's so great.
I just
First
said
of all, we the same age. So you saw 3 Bull seasons, if that. You're not going to tell me you were 6 years old remembering the 96 season. I don't want to hear it. Bro.
I'm not saying
I don't want to hear
it,
it.
but he's definitely the greatest NBA player of all time.
All right, but like, why he's so blind? Like people like you, like you know how Beyonce got the Beehive and Jordan got his little clan. Like I just want to know why. I think it's the shoes, bro. I really think it's the shoes. It's brand.
I mean, there's no player in the history of the game, not just on all levels, that has been as transcendent as Michael Jordan.
Right.
And to be quite honest with you,
I guess
it's reached a point where there won't be. I mean, as ill as LeBron is. I mean, LeBron is like all world. He's transcendent in his own way. I don't think that there's any way that somebody can match.
I mean,
Michael Jordan.
They said that
you tripping. You don't know what the future holds. How you know that?
I mean, well, based on what we've seen to this point at least.
How do you know that, man? That's what I'm saying, man. Like, he's not God. I'm sorry. He's not. Sorry. He's not a top 10 college player.
Is he the greatest NBA player? Is he the greatest NBA player?
Yeah, but the greatest NFL player don't got hype like this. The greatest boxer, Muhammad Ali, don't got hype like this. Like, why are you so blind, bro? At least obviously you grew up watching Iverson Jordan. Like, what are you talking about?
Well,
This dude used to think Jordan did it all by himself.
Because he did. Scotty didn't do nothing.
If you look in the trailer,
Scotty didn't do nothing.
Scotty
Scotty didn't do nothing.
Jordan literally said you can't say Jordan without Pippen, and he's still
it's
trying to
called
say that
being
Jordan
politically
did it by
correct,
himself.
bro.
Yeah, Mike don't believe that. Mike
Wait,
just saying that.
when has Jordan ever been politically correct? Come on, man. I thought he was an assassin. I thought he didn't care. I thought he was
But
ruthless.
he's never said he never called himself the greatest.
Yeah, he hasn't. Yeah, he always. We know he don't believe.
He never called himself the greatest. He always say, "I'll leave it up to the older guys." I always pay them respect.
Bro, yes, he did.
Listen, but can we really address Scotty though? Can we talk about how Scotty is not like
what?
In terms of dynamic duos, right? Out of every GOAT that's ever won chips, Scotty is the lowest of any.
Okay, but he's still good. He's still a top 25 player.
No, he's not.
Scotty, he better in your hands
right now. No, he's not.
Of all time?
He's
top 20. Scotty, you said Scottie Pippen's a top 25 player?
Yeah.
Right now?
What are you talking about?
Scottie Pippen's not even better than Dominique Wilkins, bro.
Stop, man. Stop.
Scottie Pippen is not no top 25 player, bro.
Stop.
I mean, he didn't even deserve a double team,
bro.
Okay, now that was a stupid. What are you talking about? So what? Neither did John Stockton. John Stockton top 25.
I don't know about that either, bro.
John not top 25 either.
Nah.
Oh my God.
You losing like 40.
But Iverson's in the top 25 though, right?
Nah, Iverson's top 40.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, bro.
Scotty's
up there, bro. What was if Jordan did it by himself? Why he didn't do none of this when Pippen wasn't there?
Because he was young.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, wait. All right, now watch this. Watch this.
What?
Watch this. Scottie Pippen comes in the league 87, right? Scottie Pippen was non-existent in 87, his rookie year.
Okay, but was Jordan won chips though?
But Scottie Pippen wasn't even the second best player on the team. Mike still won.
Won what?
He got past the first round in 88.
Oh my God! Look at the standard you holding him out. I thought
but people will say Michael Jordan didn't get out the first round in 88.
I didn't say that. I said chips. I'm not worried about what people said. I said chips.
Scotty did not matter.
You stupid. You crazy.
No, wait. He was consistent enough to remain around.
So you really think Jordan did all this by himself, even though he clearly said he didn't do it by himself?
All I'm going to say is to carry that kind of offensive burden and to help out on defense.
Bro.
Not too many people could do that.
Bro.
What you talking about? Scotty was the best defender on the team.
That's subjective.
I'm not saying Jordan was the best.
Stop.
I'm not saying Jordan was the best, but Jordan definitely helped Scotty defensively.
When did Scotty become a better defender than Michael Jordan?
Bro, did you not watch the 93 series? 93, 92, he was better than him. What are you talking about? He's better than the 90s.
Scotty wasn't a better defender than Michael Jordan until the late 90s.
You bugging. You crazy. See, this is what I'm talking about. Like the blind Jordan love.
Bro,
I'm just trying to figure out why is it like
93,
this, bro?
you know who Michael Jordan was in 91, 92,
Do you? Bro, you was 3 years old. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Michael Jordan,
You was 3 years old, bro.
Yo,
you was 3.
Michael
Don't do that.
Jordan, bro.
Bro, don't do that.
93.
Jordan literally said that he couldn't do it without Pippen. You still trying to say
that's his running mate. That's what he's going to say.
You're going to say man. Like, you know how if you in that spot, that mean, and you get mad, girl, you say that
no,
weak girls.
I don't.
You don't really mean weak. I mean, but you don't be a man now.
No.
Yeah.
No,
you know what I'm saying?
No, stop.
You're going to say we. You really mean me. You know what I mean?
Jordan did not do it by himself.
So watch this. So Devin, watch this. So wait. So the flu game, game 5 against Utah.
That's one game.
Mike scored 38 points. Wait, he scored 38 points. He had food poisoning. People say whatever they want to say. If he's hungover, whatever. The end of the world is happening. The Bulls are supposed to lose that game. Mike is on his deathbed. He scores 38. Scottie Pippen shoots 5 of 17 in a game where Mike is out of it. Did Michael Jordan win that game?
That's one game. Well, are you serious? That's one game.
He got a bunch of games like that, bro.
Jordan don't got games like that, right? He don't got games like that. You really want to do this right now, bro?
I mean, if you want to talk, look, you're gonna bring up the 3-18 game against the Knicks. He still was the best player on the floor. He still was the best player on the floor.
The worst. Yo, what are you talking about? You're the worst.
Okay, now watch this. Scottie Pippen, right? Can Scottie Pippen, in any way, shape, or form, put up a 41 points to match Michael Jordan the way Kyrie Irving did?
How come when Jordan have a bad game, he did other stuff? When Scotty had a bad game,
I'm just saying. I'm
yo,
Can Scotty?
bro, he was
Can
3 for
Scottie
18,
Pippen put
bro.
up 41
And they were
the way Kyrie did?
You're not even telling the whole story. You're not even telling the whole story. He was 3 for 18. They was down 0-2. They needed that game to win, and it was at home,
bro.
At least Scottie Pippen
he got
had
a
the
triple
altitude.
double.
Can Scotty do that?
Yo, what are you talking about?
But what did Mike do? What did Mike do in Game 4?
He balled out. The only game he did well is that whole series. That was the only game. You're lying,
bro. You're lying.
Yo, I saw the whole series.
And that's not to discredit the 1993 Knicks. That's the best Knicks team.
Bro, I saw the whole series. He shot bad the whole series.
So, Devin, what's your actual argument?
I'm just saying Michael Jordan didn't do it by himself. Nobody does it by himself. That's
right.
crazy.
Nobody's done it by themselves.
Okay, but this dude is saying that he did it by himself.
I'm saying Scotty's a bit overrated. That's what I'm saying.
That's fine, but he's still top 25, top 30.
You said top 25. Stop saying that.
Bro, top 25, bro.
I said 25 players, bro?
Yeah, bro. I said it, bro. It's past the stats. You can't just look at the stats. You're not going to average 30 points playing with Michael Jordan shooting 25 times a game.
D-Wade not top 25 to me.
What? Oh, now get him. Now get him.
Yeah,
that's Nile's man's right there.
Yeah. D-Wade is not top 25, bro.
25.
D-Wade is definitely top 25.
Scottie Pippen is bare. Scottie Pippen is not a top 50 player, bro.
I don't think so.
All right, stop.
D-Wade that's 25. Nah, he not.
Stop. Now Scottie not top 50. Stop.
Bro, Dominique Wilkins is better than him.
Who?
Dominique Wilkins is better than him.
Nah. Now if I want to win a chip, nah.
What do you mean? He's the second option. What are you talking about?
Dominique's a go-to guy. It's different. That means it's different.
Go-to guy for what? They didn't do nothing.
So you're saying Scotty, you saying Dominique Wilkins can't be the second option on the championship team?
Bro. Scottie Pippen's a better defender, better playmaker. All Dominique did was score. He's like Carmelo.
Bro,
like, it doesn't matter.
So
is Carmelo better than Scottie Pippen?
Wait.
Wait, is Carmelo better?
You say, bro, so okay, he defended the best perimeter option on the opposite team. You know how easy it is to say, okay, all you got to do now is defend because I have the scoring.
But he still averaged like
burden.
So what? He can still get you 20 points, and he was a good playmaker.
Then he averaged 20 on two championship teams. Then he averaged 20. Twice.
Scotty, yeah, he can. What are you talking about?
He averaged 20 on two chip teams.
Twice, and it was low. It was like 20 point something.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, so what?
He's not taking over no scoring, bro. He's not taking no weight.
18, 19.
Wait, is Carmelo better than Scotty? He was the number one option.
If Carmelo had
asking.
No,
I'm
actually,
asking, he better.
So no, but if Carmelo had two rings, I had guy who got 6.
Oh wait. Carmelo is not greater than Scotty.
But he's better.
He's better than Scotty.
No, he's not. You tripping.
He's better than Scotty, bro.
No, he's not. Not even close.
Scotty. Yo, let's talk about Scotty. Wait, time out.
Why you getting mad for? Why you getting mad?
94, bro. The year that Mike is gone. They go. Everybody
was going to make
about, yo, they won 55 games. They was this good. Yo, bro. They played the Knicks.
They were going to make the finals.
No, they were not. Everybody want to talk about that foul. Hubert Davis foul. Yo, bro, that's game 5. They still had 2 more games after that. 2 more games after that.
It was a bad call.
Yo, bro, Scotty shot 35% the last 2 games, bro.
So what? Michael Jordan had.
He averaged 16 points.
Okay,
and,
hold on.
And one of those losses, one of those wins they got, he sat out the end of the game because Phil Jackson didn't throw the player for him.
This is the hypocrisy I got to deal with you. What happened the year before when Jordan shot 8 for 24? What's that? 33%. That's lower than the percentage you just said. But they won, right? Why?
Bro, not the last 2 games. Not the last 2 games.
Game 6, 93. Jordan shot 8 for 24.
But is that the last 2 games? They did. Wait.
That's game 6.
Did he average 16 points? Did he average 16 points?
Oh
the last 2 games? Wait. Did he sit out a game?
No, he
sit out
didn't.
the end of a game because Phil Jackson didn't draw up a play for him, bro?
That's one bad play.
That's horrible, son.
You're going to talk about when Scotty shot bad, but when Jordan shoot bad, 8 for 24, it don't matter.
Yo, that was a tremendous Knicks defensive team.
Oh my God! Would you stop? Like, come on, bro.
I'm telling.
Jordan was horrible that series.
Scotty's overrated.
Carmelo's not better than no Scottie Pippen.
Bro, he's definitely better than Scotty.
So that means Allison's better than Scottie Pippen too.
Bro, is this a joke?
Why are you stuttering?
Because I'm trying to see if you're serious.
And I'm gonna go back to my man saying D Wade not top 25. Like,
bro,
what?
D Wade, how long is D Wade's prime?
I don't care, man. He's top 25.
How long is D Wade?
Bro, D Wade's prime is super short.
Yeah,
he's always injured, and he needed LeBron and Shaq.
He what?
He needed LeBron and Shaq.
He didn't. What are you talking about? 2006, he had one of the craziest finals performances ever.
No, he needed that final performance is transcendent. I'm gonna give him that. I'm saying Shaq comes there and gives them championship credibility. Shaq is the MVP candidate of 2005. Shaq, while he is a lesser version of himself in 2006, Shaq being there gives him a certain level of security that most players don't have. That's a fact. And on top of that, Wade is always hurt, bro. Who else I got? Who else I got in the
Both Steph and KD higher than Wade, and they still playing.
Steph and KD?
Yeah, both of them higher than Wade, and they still playing.
Yeah. Steph
Easily
and KD.
high. Yeah.
All right.
So
my bad, I fell off. Can y'all go back? What was y'all saying about D Wade?
D Wade's not top 25.
Yeah, he not. Both Steph and KD higher than
Nile, you better kill these two because they coming out your man's crazy.
KD, I definitely put KD higher than
And Steph got 2 MVPs. And Steph changed the way basketball is played. If KD higher, then Steph is higher because Steph was higher.
All three of them are top 25. I don't understand that argument. Wade doesn't have the peak of none of those guys, bro.
And Steph and KD are to me in the like 20s and so. You know what I mean? So we're getting close. And I'm not.
But if you talking about Steph's 2 MVPs, Wade has a Finals MVP.
Oh, that's for one series though.
Yeah, as opposed to 80 games.
But that's for 6 games in the highest moment.
Yo, wait.
Joe Dumars got one too.
Wait, when LeBron is not there, you got Wade losing in the first round twice, or not making the playoffs. Period. Playing 51 games twice. He
lost to the Bulls in the first round too, early on.
That's from 07 to 2011.
Wait, you talking about when Pat Riley kept switching it up, getting rid of Shaq and bringing in what's this dude's name? Jermaine O'Neal, washed up Jermaine O'Neal.
Bro, but still, that's 2 years of 51 games.
And we talk about
my fault, y'all. I gotta bounce. Keep this going though. I want to hear the rest of this now. You better kill him.
Got you, bro. Good chopping it up with you. I'm gonna get back to you about this Scottie Pippen top 25. You bugging out.
All right, we could do that. Now, don't let them. I don't want them talking about your mans like that.
Yeah, I don't know where they're going with that, but go ahead.
But what I'm saying is that wow, D Wade, his longevity is to be respected. You gotta respect it. He made it to 3 chips. He played in 5. You gotta respect all of those things. What I'm saying is that when you measure him against a top 25 players that have had peaks that are way higher than what he's had, and they're much more durable, there's no way you could think Dwayne Wade's a top 25 player.
I give you definitely durability. Absolutely no question about that.
Now you're talking about the chips, right?
Hold on a second. So what I will say is, because I tell people this all the time, that if LeBron just would have been a shell of himself in 2011 series, more times than not, it's a legitimate argument that Wade would have won that Finals MVP, which then brings his career to 2 Finals MVPs out of which would have been, I guess, 4 championships.
If LeBron's a shell of himself, then LeBron probably gets the MVP. I mean, because Wade only played well for the first 3 games. If LeBron was better, Then the voters have to argue who had the overall playoff impact. The Wade was horrible against Chicago. LeBron was amazing in Chicago, and then LeBron had better games. So no. So if Wade had the 3 games and LeBron had the games he had, LeBron probably get the final MVP. He beats him by popularity and overall playoff run.
Right, because not only Chicago.
You can't go by popularity because Iguodala won the first Finals MVP over Steph.
But
that's different from voters having to pick between LeBron and Wade. I mean, as opposed to the fact that LeBron outpaced everyone so bad that voters even forgot about probably Steph. Like, oh shit! I mean, this is not what the regular guy who was stopping him. That's a different dynamic, different argument.
2015 was so dominant from LeBron that you had half the voters went to LeBron even though he lost.
Right. Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So when you and to Frank's point about Wade's playoff performance in 2012, he didn't just play bad against Chicago. He had horrible games against Indiana as well. So there's a lot to be said to that particular year. That's probably Wade's last prime year, 2011. Mm-hmm. But everything after that, 2012, 2013, and which the Heat won 2 championships, the last 3 years of that run, Wade missed 58 games.
Yeah, I'm not talking about. Yeah, I'm not talking about 2013 and 2014. That's why I said I'll give you the durability factor. You know, D Wade ain't got no durability in terms of that. But I'm talking about during his peak, which I'm going to call from, I guess, his second year, 2004, and I'll give him all the way to 2011.
Okay, so that in that 7-year window, right? That's 7 years.
Mm-hmm.
Wade missed 2 years, basically. Back-to-back years of 51 games. So that's 2 years gone right there. He's in the playoffs for 3 of those years in which he's getting knocked out the first round. So again, for those 7 years, how impactful is it outside of the championship? Which is impactful. I don't want to make it seem like a chip is not impactful.
But I'm trying because essentially Pat Riley would never call it a rebuild because he still had essentially his best play in his prime. But essentially everybody around the Heat he was getting rid of in hopes to get LeBron James in that summer 2010. And for you to, I mean, I'm trying to understand why is it that you be holding it against Wade that he ain't have nobody around him. But the similar situation with Kobe, when you get rid of Shaq, there was years he didn't even make the playoffs.
No, okay. No, watch it. That was 1 year, right? But the difference between the Kobe and D Wade argument is that the durability was not affected. While I'm saying the 7-year window that you have, I agree with you. That's Wade's prime. But it's 7 years cut off due to injury, and when he actually played and was there, they weren't going or making runs. They're losing to Atlanta. They're losing to Boston. Now, the Boston team was better than them. I'm going to give them that. They shouldn't have lost to Atlanta, though. You can't lose to Atlanta.
Which Atlanta team? Was that the Atlanta with that 160?
No, that team, that's a 4-5 matchup.
Yeah, okay.
That was a 4-5 matchup. They won, what, 47 games? The Heat won 45. And in the 08-09 year from D-Wade, this is his best individual year ever. Like
when he came back from injury, yeah.
Right. But in that series, that is a series where, for me, if I'm the best player in the series, I'm supposed to be able to win that because the teams are evenly matched. You get what I'm saying? So for Devin, like we argue about Iverson and Dwayne Wade all the time, right?
Right.
So most recently, The Athletic did a poll in regards to who is the best player to ever wear number 3, and they voted for Allen Iverson.
Right.
I'm of the opinion that Iverson is better than D Wade, but because D Wade won the championships,
he's greater.
People will consider him greater.
So why do people, along with yourself, will say that? What does Iverson have that Wade didn't have in his career?
Durability.
Okay. Durability and a higher peak individually. Now, for the 3 rings that Dwayne Wade's got, he has 3 rings. 2 of those come with LeBron, and 2 of those chips he's injured or during that run. But he got he got those chips. I'm not saying that he wasn't a part of a championship team, but if we're measuring players individually and saying who's the better player, Iverson from 96 to 2008 is averaging 28 points per game. That's third all time. He has an MVP. Wade doesn't have an MVP. While Wade is the leader of
I mean, I felt like he was deserving in 2009 during what you said was his best individual season.
Okay,
but it wasn't his though.
That's an MVP caliber season. You got an MVP caliber season and not win it. Like, that's an MVP caliber season, but you're not gonna win it over LeBron. You know what I'm saying? LeBron won 66 games. LeBron's averaging out of his world numbers. Wade actually won the scoring title that year. You gotta respect it. But I look at that Wade year very similar to how I look at Kobe 2003. Like, it was exceptional individually, and when you think about that year, you're gonna give him respect, but he's not the MVP.
So then what exactly, because this is the same argument that people say toward LeBron, which I'm starting to understand, is that they should think that LeBron should get it every year. Obviously, they're not going to give it to him. But when LeBron is not on the floor, the plus-minus rating for all the other players significantly sinks. The tempo goes down. They start losing games if he's not playing. Last season, I think he had the Lakers by himself without AD, third in the West. He goes down for, what was it,
18 games.
18 games. They go 6-12,
and I think they pretty much was out of the playoffs at that point in time, or at least toward the end, they were out. They made their way out of the playoffs. So then that shows LeBron's value.
The argument for 2009 between Wade and LeBron is that the teams are relatively similar in terms of talent.
It ain't that far off, really.
The talent is the same. The difference is Wade won 47 games and LeBron won 66.
But how is it the top? They had Mario Chalmers, who was a rookie. They had Michael Beasley, who was a rookie.
Okay, now look, bro. Look at the talent level of the 2009 Cleveland Cavaliers, bro. He's winning 66. He's winning 66 games with Delonte West as the second best player.
Mo
Williams wasn't on that team.
Mo was on the team. Mo and Delonte aren't that far off.
Larry Hughes wasn't on that team either.
Nah, Larry wasn't on that team.
Larry was going to 07.
You got a Cavs team that's winning 66 games with J.J. Hickson. Who was that? You dig what I'm saying? And this is no knock to Dwayne Wade. His 2009 is exceptional, but we looking at a player in LeBron that's able to drag 66 wins out of a team that exceeded expectations way beyond what people expect.
I would say this. Looking back at it, perhaps the Cavs, the Heat team should probably win about 43, 44. Maybe the Cavs team was about 50-51, right?
But they're 50-50. They're 50-51 because of LeBron.
Yes, right. So they should have been 7 games off, but LeBron made them 20 games off, right? Which is like, whoa, right? 20 games off and makes them a legit title threat, which he probably shouldn't have been, right? If you check the preseason rankings, the Cavs are nowhere near the top seed, let alone the top seed in the NBA.
Okay, so
But
back
you still have 2 starting rookies on your starting lineup.
And for him to do what he did, that's what I'm saying. It's an MVP caliber season. But if you measuring it, like, for example, when you're looking at AI actually won the MVP.
Right.
Wade didn't win the MVP.
Right.
He had an MVP caliber season. That MVP caliber season, AI got like 3 of those. Right? So that's one thing. Then the durability factor is like clear. For Wade's prime, we said 7 seasons. AI's prime is running a decade plus.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So not only that, his peak is higher, the longevity as a greater player is longer, and that's why I'm giving it to. That's why I think AI is better. Now somebody might say it's easier to win with Wade, and this may be true, but you're only saying that because he's able to collaborate with a player that is better than him, or to be able to coexist with a player that's better than him. If Allen had the luxury to play with a player like a Shaq or a LeBron, You don't know if he win a chip. But I'm saying in similar situations, AI got more out of his team.
So essentially, you're saying because Allen Iverson was just a great offensive player, we all know he was a liability on defense. So essentially, what you're saying is AI still with that that weakness still had a greater offensive impact than both D Wade's offensive and defensive prowess.
Wade was a obviously he's a better defensive player. My thing is, for that defense, how much of that really contributed to the Heat winning when it mattered the most, when he was by himself? The defensive side of things.
When you mean by itself, what do you mean?
When he was by himself without LeBron or without Shaquille, Wade being the far superior defensive player, like you're saying, how much of that contributed to him winning more than Iverson? Because if anything, they either won at the same rate or he was worse.
But see, I don't always just look at winning because we're talking about the actual basketball player. Because if that's the case, then T-Mac isn't as great of a player as some people might believe him to be because he never made it out the first round.
Oh, he's not.
Well, to me, he's not.
He's not.
He's not.
Okay. Got it. Okay.
So my thing is, and here's the thing about defense. Defense is extremely important, but defense in totality really only matters in terms of team. So, for example, Wade being a better defender than Iverson really only showcased itself in winning situations.
But it doesn't have to be. That's because you guys are looking at the winning percentage. But if you just look at it from a basketball standpoint, you're on the court yourself. And this is my argument for why I would always have Jordan over LeBron, is that if you have to carry that offensive burden, as Iverson definitely had to do because he had no other offensive weapons for the most part of his career up until, essentially he was traded. But right now I'm just talking about the Sixers years. And then defensively, helping out, if not manning up to guard the best player on the other team. Stamina comes into effect, which is why people regard LeBron as so high. Because back when he was a defensive monster, to go back and still give it 27, 7, and 7, that is not an easy thing to do. For Jordan to have to do that, putting up 30 for a career by yourself, and Scottie Pippen, and definitely not Dennis Rodman or Bill Wilmington, whatever, being able to be double teamed, that means it's all on Jordan offensively and help out defensively. Iverson didn't have to worry about that. All Iverson had to do was, just go score the ball.
In the latter part of AI's career, he was a scorer and he was a playmaker, right? As good as a playmaker as Wade ever was.
Mm-hmm.
Which is another part of basketball.
Right? Now what? Now also, I didn't even mention playmaking. They probably on the same level or same tier in terms of playmaking, right? Wow. You talk about defense. It's only a detriment if it prevents your team from being good defensively. So, for example, while Iverson might have been a liability individually, one-on-one defensively, if you go back and look at those Sixers teams that he was a part of that one, we were always a top-tier defensive team. So he wasn't a liability the way people might make it seem. And he still played the passing lane to the best of his ability and led the league in steals 3 times. So he still contributed in his way. It wasn't like if you go back to, let's say, James Harden from 2006, from 2015 to 2017, where he didn't even try. He did what he could.
Liability, when people say a liability, they're talking about what LeBron James likes to do, especially against the Warriors, where, in this case, Kyrie Irving, Steph is guarding Kyrie Irving. So what Kyrie Irving do is probably set a pick on Klay Thompson and now you got LeBron going against Steph Curry, and he's going to keep running that pick and roll back and forth because obviously Curry can't guard. So
now when you look at in AI in his prime, looking at those Sixers teams, if you did that, more than likely, if you're saying what's the mismatch, let's abuse it. Nobody ever abused AI offensively. So to me, and this could go to who is he guarding? Who is he going against? He's not necessarily when you say a liability, there's nobody that he's gonna guard. You could be like, yo, no matter who he's guarding, we're gonna go to them, and they're gonna be a mismatch. So you can't really use that against Iverson. If you're saying Wade is a better defender, he is a better defender. He's also 4 inches taller and probably weighs 30 more pounds. So
Yeah, that. Unfortunately, sports has a lot to do with your stature.
but what I'm saying is that while that could be the case, well, I mean not could, it is the case. He's a better defender. What I'm saying is that how is it impact what he's doing individually isn't impacting the winning the way that it's interpreted. If you're saying he's a better defender and it helps his team be this much better, then yeah, okay. But in the same vein, in the same situation that they were in, his teams are worse, even though he's the better defender. His teams are worse, even though he's probably easier to play with. His teams are worse because he's not playing. Whereas Iverson's there, Iverson's contributing more. His peak is higher, and in similar situations, he took his team further. Playing with LeBron, it's easy to play with LeBron. It's not hard to play with LeBron. It's not. All you gotta do is make sure you're there consistently, and he's gonna put you in a position to look exceptional. Now, Dwayne Wade in his own right can carry his own weight. I'm not taking nothing away from him, but I'm saying it's easy to win championships when you're playing with the best player in the world. If you're already in a position to be a suitable number 2 option. Iverson as a number 2 option with LeBron James is probably going to win championships as well.
And what about with Shaq?
With Shaq, again, see the Shaq thing is it's a slippery slope in this regard, because while Wade definitely was the better player for 2005, 2006, the year that they won the chip, my argument with Shaquille is that Shaquille is the reason they turned into a championship contender. You dig what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So Shaquille being there definitely takes pressure off of Wade in terms of scrutiny and how to carry a team. Now,
But he underperformed in the finals.
But by that point, Wade is the better player, clearly. But what I'm saying is that when Shaquille comes, Wade is not the reason they're a championship contender. That's what I'm saying. Iverson in 2001 is the only reason we're a championship contender. He's the only reason we even have a chance to even win a game against historically the best playoff team in the history of the NBA. He's the only reason. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that Wade wasn't the best player in 2006 champion for that series. I'm not saying that he wasn't the best player on the team. My argument with that is that he's not the reason they're a championship contender.
Okay.
Shaq.
That's fair. I can live with that.
I mean, but it's like I'm saying, this Wade Iverson thing is arguable. If somebody says Wade is better, you know, I'm gonna say my case in terms of why I think Iverson is better, but I don't think it's the gap that people are saying. It's not a clear gap. You know what I mean?
Well, I still would say D Wade is better because I always look at defense, which, you know, there was a point in time where I had a few friends talked about KD and Harden, who was better at that time, and most of them started saying Harden because, you know, he was putting up 30. Well, he averaged 36 that season, but obviously he didn't really have that much defense. So I look at it as Jordan put up 30 for his entire career, which in one of those, I think he averaged 37 in his early years. I don't remember which year exactly.
Year three. Year 37, year 4, 35.
If he didn't care about defense the way James Harden didn't care about defense, then he probably would have averaged 35 for his career, if not more. So I always got to look at defense as a part of your individual skill, because like I said, me playing basketball, I understand that there are people that can go out and score 30, but don't give you nothing on defense like Carmelo. He'll give LeBron 30, but then LeBron would give him 40.
I mean, but even in that regard though, it's like, and I think this is a misconception in that regards too. You're never gonna see stars guard stars all game. It's just
No.
it's not reality. So but I think there's a misconception that, oh, LeBron is supposed to guard such and such for the entire game. It's really supposed to be in the key moments of a game. Like if you go back to the Lakers Bucks game from a couple weeks ago, the way that LeBron guarded Giannis, he didn't guard Giannis the whole game, but he guarded him in key moments of the game that influenced certain the trajectory of the game. That's what it really is. So even in that regard, to your Carmelo point, I don't necessarily think that it's Melo's job to guard LeBron, but more so about, all right, if the matchup presents itself, will you stand up to it? You get what I'm saying? Like if somebody has Steph Curry on the switch, it doesn't matter who it is, Steph is getting cooked. But Steph's job is, okay, I might have gave up 18 tonight, but I gotta get it back by dropping 35. Which he might be a defensive liability, but his offensive impact makes up for it so much so that it doesn't matter.
Well, for point guards, they can't, and I mean point guards meaning people like Chris Paul, Steph, the small point guards.
Even though I think Chris Paul is the best defensive point guard like ever. Like in terms of like being an all-around player, Chris could guard everybody.
Yeah.
He could guard everybody. So to your point though, like in terms of being a small guard in stature, very difficult for them to guard. But Chris doesn't count. Chris guards everybody.
Yes, he doesn't. I mean, he's not gonna. He can't do much against LeBron or Giannis, but he's definitely better than any other guard. Right. To Iverson, to Steph, Nate Robinson, and any other of the small guards, I don't hold them accountable for that. But for somebody like Melo, who is 6'8", 250, if not more, for Giannis, who's 6'11", 7 feet, those people who are gifted naturally with the physicality to be able to guard multiple positions and guard your own position. It should be your job, if you are the leader of that team, if you're supposed to be the star player, it should be your job to be able to lock up on defense. Now, obviously, you can't lock LeBron up. You can't shut him down. You can't shut down Giannis. So we're not talking about locking them up, but we're talking about doing a good job where you're making it hard for them. Whereas you guys are talking about like Jordan, where they're having 5 for 16 games.
Right.
That should be Carmelo Anthony's job. He should take on that challenge regardless if the matchup presents itself. That's something that you should be able to want to take on the challenge the same way Anthony Davis challenged LeBron this year to be better defensively.
Good point, man. Good point. This entire conversation has been great. More so than anything, we gotta definitely make it happen more often over this little hiatus with the league and just sports in general, man. So it was definitely great. All three of us connecting and making it happen. So I want to thank you guys for chopping it up. We're gonna make it happen again. Now, where can they find you at in terms of social or anything like that? Any work you got?
Oh yeah, you can find me on Instagram, Nile J, Nile NILE.JAY. Again on Instagram.
Thank you. Frank, leave your socials again.
Enoch is Enoch. That's on IG. I think that's my name on Twitter too. If I'm wrong, I'll correct that. But yeah.
Copy. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Ask Isaiah, ASKISAIAH. Once again, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Ask Isaiah, ASKISAIAH. Once again, thank you guys for tuning in. This is Ask Isaiah YouTube channel. I'm Isaiah Rose. Thank you, Nile. Thank you, Frank. We'll chop it up once again.
All right. Thank you.